control statements of Python. So let me first create a program here, that is control statements dot py. So I will not run here any program, but I will just explain you what are control statements, and then we will start with the control statements. So if you had seen my videos of C and C++ tutorials, then you already know what are control statements, and you can work with Python very easily. If you know the control statements, you can run here very easily. So let me first show you what are control statements. So in control statements, we have three types. First is conditional statements, and then another is looping statements, and other is jumping statements. What are these statements? These statements are used to change the control flow of the program, that how we can control our program, how we can control the flow of our programs. So first of all, we will see the conditional statements, that we will give any condition, and according to our condition, our program will work. So in conditional statements, what happened? Let me first write here 1, 2, and 3. And now first is conditional statements. So in conditional statements, we specify the statements like if, else, etc., which are used like if the value is this one, then print this thing, else print something else. So this is like a condition that we are specifying, that if this condition is met, then you can print the value, otherwise you will print the another value. So this is used for the conditional statements. And then we have the another, that is looping statements. So looping statements are used where we have to repeat the statement multiple times. Mean to say that if you want to print hello 10 times, then what you will do? You will write like this, print and then hello. But what if I will say that you can do it in 1 to 2 lines? So yes, you can do it in 1 to 2 lines by using the looping statements. And after that, there is jumping statements. So if you want to jump from here to there, so what you will do? You will use looping statements. Mean to say that if you want to jump from this statement to this statement, or you want to exit the statement, then you will use the jumping statements. So jumping statements are like break and continue. So now let's say the concept of conditional statements with a proper program. So now I will create one more program and I will name it conditional and then statements dot py. So here we will run our conditional statements. So let me write above if else statement. That is very simple statement that we will use to understand the conditional statements. So first of all, we have, let me create one variable, that is variable 1 equal to 10 and then variable 2 equal to 30. And now what we will do, we will write a condition like if, and then we will specify the condition, like I will specify the condition, that is variable 1 is less than variable 2. Then what will happen? So for then what will happen, we will write a colon and then we will enter, and what you are watching here is it has given us the indentation 1 2 3 4 4 spaces. Why? Because in if statement, you can see in C++ we use these curly braces to specify the statements, but here in Python syntax we use the indentation. So here we use the indentation. So if you will not specify these 4 spaces, if you will not give the 4 spaces, then your program will give the error. So now you can see it here, if, and then this is the condition, and after that you will write the statement. Like if variable 1 is less than variable 2, then you can print here variable 1 is smaller. Okay. But if it is not right, then what you will do? Then after that, again going back here, along this if statement, below that else, and then this colon, and then again enter. You can see again the indentation is there. So after indentation, mean to say that after 4 spaces, we will add the another statement. So I will write here the another statement, that will be where 2 is smaller. So now you can see it here. So if the condition will be that variable 1 is less than 2, then this will run. If variable 1 is not less than 2, then this will run. So you know that this condition will run. So let's see the output if this is running or not. So yes, this is running. 10 is smaller. So 10 is smaller is running here. If I will change here 10 to 40, then what will happen? Now the else condition will run because variable 2 is smaller than variable 1 now. So now let's run this. So yes, now the second condition is running, that 30 is smaller. So this is the concept of the if else statement. Like if this condition will be true, then this statement will be an if statement. Otherwise, else statement will run. So you know the concept of if else statements. Now let's see the concept of else if statements, because we lot of the times we use else if statements also. So what will happen in else if statements? Let's see that. So for that, if you want to specify the multiple if statements here, mean to say the multiple conditions, then what you will use here? You will use here else if statement. So for that, let me write here the comment multiple conditions. So if you want the multiple conditions, then you will use else if. So let us start this by if variable 1 is greater than variable 2. Then what we will write here? We will write here that variable 1 is greater. Okay. And now else if. So how we write else if here is elif. So we specify the else if condition by writing the elif. And then we will write the statement here. And then we will write the condition here. So condition will be elif variable 2 is greater than variable 1. Then what will happen? Then we will use here that variable 2 is greater. And now we can also use a else statement. That else what will happen? Else we will write both are equal. So why I write here both are equal? Because we know if variable 1 is greater than variable 2, then this can be printed. If variable 2 is greater, then this can be printed. After that, the another case is this one. That if variable 1 is not bigger and variable 2 is also not bigger, means that both are equal. So that's why we had write here else statement. So now let's see what will be the output. We know that output will be that variable 1 is greater, mean to say that 40 is greater. So let's see it is okay or not. So yes, it is written here 40 is greater. First of all, this statement is running as statement that 30 is smaller, and then this one is running that 40 is greater. Now let me decrease the value of it again. So now you can see it, variable 1 is small and variable 2 is 30. So what will run here now? You can see it here. What will run now? Now we know that variable 2 is greater than variable 1. So this elif condition will run here. So for that, we will see it here, if it is running or not. So yes, it is running. 30 is greater. So it is running now. And now if I will equate this value, like I have given 30, 30 to both, then what will run here? So you can see it here that both are equal is running now. So now this else condition is running. So I think now the concept of if, else if and else is clear to you. And also this concept is also clear of if else statement. So let's move further. So now let me create a list here. Like I will write a new list equal to, and now I will write the values 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And now we will use if else statement with this thing. So first of all, let me print the list. So now we will use the if else statement here. Like if 5 in new list, then what we will do? We will print here yes. Otherwise, we will write here else no. So what is this? This is a if else statement if we are using the list concept here. So you can see it here. If 5 will be present in this list, then it will print this condition. Otherwise, it will print this thing. So now let's run this. So you can see it here. Yes is written here. Why does yes is written? Because 5 is present. Now let me change it to 15. Now let's see if it is printing it or not. So you can see it here. Now else condition is running that no, 5 is not present in the list. So there is one more concept in if else statement, that is shorthand if else notation that is used in Python. Like you're using a if else like this, so you can also use it like shorthand if else notation. Now let me show you that. So for that, let us take a value like let me write here a variable a equal to 25 and b equal to 35. And now I will use here the shorthand if else notation. That will be like this. If a is greater than b, then colon and then print statement here that print a is big. So it will just print a is big. So we know a is not big, so it will not print here a is big. So let's see it is printing or not. So it is not printing here anything of this thing. So if I will increase the value like a equal to 55, now let's see it is printing or not. So yes, now it is printing a is big. So this is how we can use a shorthand if statement. So now let us use one another statement here, that will be shorthand if else statement. So let me first of all comment this and write the shorthand if else statement. So for that, what we will do, we will write here print a is big if, and then we will specify a condition that a is greater than b. Otherwise we will write here else, and then we will write here specifying the column print B is big. So let's see it is running or no. So yes, it will run if we will not use any colon here. So now let's see. So yes, it is running. It is showing us A is big. So let me make B big. So now you know the B is big here. So we will run it. So you can see it here. B is big is coming. So this is the shorthand if-else notation that you can use in your program. So instead of using this thing, you can use this shorthand if-else notation. So it will make your program more easy. So this is the concept of if-else statements that you can relate with your programs and make more programs of that. So now next we will see that is looping statements.